It is a very proud moment for me as the interim CEO to be able to welcome everybody to this celebration. Many of you may know that I'm a nurse by profession, and occupational therapists have always been wonderful partners with nursing. We lend our compassion and our caring attitude towards patients when they are their most vulnerable. I recall the first time I came in contact with occupational therapy because I am a student of our own School of Nursing, and I did my senior rotation up on the burn unit. And on that burn unit, what impressed me was the collaboration and the multidisciplinary approach to that patient population, and the occupational therapists were so key in that treatment planning and restoring that patient to a level of health that would let them be independent. Further on down my career, I had the wonderful honor to be the director over the outpatient department, and worked very closely with Agnes and Pat and Valerie and Jane and some of the people that have always been true advocates for our patients. Kind of comes full circle for me now as your interim CEO to be able to celebrate this 100-year time with you, because it stands a testament to how much your work is valued, an important part that occupational therapists play in our healthcare delivery. And I want to thank each and every one of you for your contributions, not only to the patients here at LA+USC or across the County of Los Angeles, but also in building up your profession. That's something you should all be very, very proud of. Thank you very much.
So I just want to let you know that, it's an honor. When they told us that they were celebrating 100th year. When I went to have these cakes made, everybody goes, 100 years? And I go, yeah, and some of them are still around. But, but you know what? It's an honor to be here at LAC+USC and just to see how much fight we all have in us to really do good for our patients are always going to be first. Because without our patients, we don't have a job, we don't have a hospital. But we're going to make sure we make this the best hospital that we can make for our patients. Even with the scare of ACA going away, we're still going to be here for our patients. That's number one. So I just thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
So I have 3 thank yous from you. I'm a messenger delivering 3 thank yous. So the first thank you is from President Bob Schoonover and our Vice President. They do wish they were here to celebrate with you on this very symbolic day, 100 years of occupational therapy. So that's my first thank you. My second thank you is from the bargaining team. We have amazing occupational therapist leaders who have educated us on the importance of your job. Agnes, I want to thank you so much for your leadership at the bargaining table and conveying everything that occupational therapists do and how important they are in the support of patient care. And the last thank you is from the patients that can't be here to tell you. The patients that thank you for all of the work that you do every single day.
Good afternoon, everyone. Agnes called me this morning about 10 o'clock and said, are you going to be at the celebration? I said, I wouldn't miss this for the world. She said, would you be so kind and say a few words about psychiatric services at occupational therapy services at Harkin, the psych services. I said, I'll be delighted to. Every opportunity I get to let people know who we are, what we do, how we do it, why we do it, and most importantly of all, the value of the things we do. And we have an excellent occupational therapy program at Harkins. Our frame of reference is the cognitive disability model. Claudia Allen, who was one of the leaders in the development of that model, she also worked here at LAC+USC Medical Center, and a lot of the program development was done here at USC. And Kathy Earhart's name was mentioned quite frequently here today, but she also was a very leading person in the development of the cognitive disability model. But basically, what I like to say is the fact that We have a very dynamic team at Harkins that provide excellent service. At this point, I'd just like to introduce the staff, and I'm so proud of these people. Would you all stand, please?
I was a student here a long, long time ago, and I remember Claudia Allen, many months ago. And then we had to go into, when the building still existed, it went through locked units. First time I saw someone with thousands of keys and let me through each section. But you have to be proud of yourselves because Claudia Allen completed her ideas at LAC+USC, and now it's a national model for assessing cognition or level as it relates to function. And it's a standardized evidence-based evaluation and evaluation therapy tool. So you should be proud of that history.
Actually, I'm a PT. And a lot of times people ask, what's the difference between PT and OT? And some people think OT-PT is one word, or PT-OT is one word. When I got to PEDS, they go, oh, you're a PT. We don't even bother learning your names because you rotate in 3 months, and so we don't even bother learning your name. But then OT, well, of course, Dottie had been there forever, and knew everything about PEDS and developmental stuff, and so everybody knew who Dottie was. So I would always send my student down the hall to OT to ask Dottie, or we'd go together to ask Dottie what she thought. And it was always nice to have someone with a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge to help answer some of these questions. When I got to the burn unit, of course, we worked together closely with the OTs there. And it was always nice to know that when I got cussed out by the patient, the OT would go and talk to the patient and calm him down and console him and try to tell him why he shouldn't cuss out the PTs. But when I was thinking what I should be, an OT or PT, I found out that to be an OT, you have to be creative and artistic, and I decided, no, that's not me. I can't even draw stickmen. So I chose to be a PT, but I'm glad that we're part of the same family of rehab.
A little bit about Supervisor Solis. She is the first district supervisor. She became a supervisor in 2014 in the President Obama's cabinet. She was the labor secretary from 2009, 2013, and prior to that, she was a congresswoman from the 32nd district. So it's a great honor to have her office represent here and celebrate our centennial. So without much further ado, I'd like to present Mr. Fernando Delgado.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for the introduction and for the warm welcome. So unfortunately, Supervisor Solis was not able to be here. This is one of those weird days where we have a county board meeting on a Wednesday. So unfortunately, this was already planned, but I know I'm glad to be here. I got to take a tour of the facility beforehand, and it's quite amazing to see the amazing hands-on work that's being done here every day. How often do you get to celebrate, 100 years of a profession? You can celebrate 100 years of a building, but of an actual profession where you have people constantly working, studying it, and perfecting it each and every day. So, over the course of the last 100 years, occupational therapy has evolved and has been established as a crucial component for the rehabilitation and for the restoration of patients' quality of life and their well-being. Here at this medical center, occupational therapy has been an important part of the patient care and rehabilitation process for over 70 years. For over 70 years, occupational therapists have used their creativity and skills to inspire and motivate patients with complex diagnoses, comorbidities, and psychosocial issues. LAC+USC occupational therapists are important contributors to the larger care team at one of the busiest level 1 trauma centers in the country, given their work with complex trauma, burn, cancer, and stroke patients. Occupational therapists have supported the medical center's role as a teaching hospital by accepting many OT interns from across America. And many of the current occupational therapy staff began as students at LAC+USC and are now mentors to the next generation of occupational therapists. So it's really amazing just to see kind of, the way I was taking a tour beforehand, and you kind of really sometimes take these things for granted. You take, the everyday activities, getting into the shower, cooking, using the laundry machines. Those are things that, I feel that after, kind of seeing what I've seen here and understanding what some of the patients go through, it's something that I know I'm not going to go home anymore and take that for granted. Even the most mundane, simple, everyday things are things that, can easily be taken away in the flash of a second, in an instant. And it takes months, years even, for people to slowly get back and slowly regain those skills. And without the amazing dedication and the work of staff like yourselves and leadership like yourselves as well, many of these patients would have a much lower quality of life. But thanks to the work that happens here and to 100 years of this profession, we are able to see patients recover and get back to where they were before. And that's something that, we hope continues to go on and to go further. And especially, especially with being a part of this important milestone in American occupational therapy and in Los Angeles County healthcare history, as we try to improve the quality of lives for constituents not only in the 1st district but throughout LA County, and that's about 10 million people. So thank you so much for being here, and I did want to present a certificate, so I'd like to kind of invite everyone here to join me with this as well. So we have a scroll here signed by all 5 members of the Board of Supervisors. It's a lovely scroll, beautiful. So this is in anticipation also of the centennial anniversary and also for Occupational Therapy Month. And I will read the proclamation, which reads, whereas the American Occupational Therapy Association has declared the month of April 2017 as Occupational Therapy Month and recognizes 2017 as the centennial year of occupational therapy. Whereas through a collaborative process following an illness or injury, the profession of occupational therapy makes valuable contributions towards patients' return to living life to its fullest. And whereas for over 70 years, the services of occupational therapy have been available to the citizens of Los Angeles County, the health and productivity of our citizens depends upon the effective use of healthcare resources, including the important services of occupational therapists and occupational therapy assistants. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Supervisors of the County of Los Angeles hereby recognizes April 2017 as Occupational Therapy Month, and with special appreciation throughout this centennial year of occupational therapy, call upon all citizens to recognize the achievements and valuable contributions of occupational therapists, adopted by order of the Board of Supervisors of the County of Los Angeles, signed by all 5 members. And I'd like to present this not just to her one individual, but for all occupational therapists, for all the leaders, and for all the people that work so hard to make sure that we can continue providing quality care to our patients here. So thank you very much, and I'd like to present this to everyone right here.
In my closing remarks, I just wanted to let you know it's been a true honor to have all of you come here to celebrate our national centennial.
Everybody, come on! It didn't make much sense that you didn't know again. Anyone that took offense at a radio celebration, the audience of mine, that there ought to be a time that we should set aside. It become an illusion. They all know everything that they said first time will bring. In our heart we sing, the Mandela and Martin Luther King.